Video de un vaquero montado a caballo parado en la cima de una montaña mirando hacia el horizonte. Texto en pantalla. En 1879, Justin Boots se fundió en el borde de las fronteras en Spanish Fort, Texas. A lo largo de los siglos, la perseverancia, el trabajo duro y la dedicación a la calidad de Justin han llevado al legendario fabricante de botas a ser reconocido como el estándar del oeste. Las modas y las industrias han ido y venido, pero nuestro carácter perdura a través de todo. Este personaje vive hoy a través de las historias de gente valiente y heroica. Aquí hay 4 individuales que honran la herencia y el estándar del oeste. Logo y texto en pantalla. El Justin logo y texto que le presenta. Logo y texto en pantalla. El Justin logo y texto que lee estándar del oeste establecido en 1879. Video de un vaquero montado a caballo entre las montañas. Dusty Tuckness, el PRCA Torero del Año 10 veces, hablando y mostrando imágenes de un cactus dentro del desierto rodeado de montañas. Un hombre y mujer montado a caballo. Un hombre y mujer montados a caballo paseándose dentro del desierto rodeados por montañas. Dusty Tuckness levantando pesas en su gimnasio de casa. Un vaquero montado a caballo. Un grupo de vaqueros montados a caballo. Una vaquera montada a caballo acorralando el ganado. Un vaquero reinando un caballo. Una vaquera errando una becerra.
The standard that there was to be a cowboy and there was to live this life, and there's honor in respecting that standard and that spirit of the cowboy in the West.
Cody Webster, el 2020 PRCA Torero del Año, hablando y mostrando imágenes de él toreando toros en una arena de rodeo. Cody Webster cargando la silla para montar su caballo. Cody Webster montado a caballo subiendo un cerro en el atardecer. Un comercial antiguo de Justin Boots mostrando un vaquero errando una vaca y mostrando botas.
The morals, the everything that went into the cowboy way of life is what got us to where we are. And you know, if you really look around, there's still a lot of that around still in this day. It's harder to find. I think those guys were just guys that, I mean, there's no other way to explain it other than they were cowboys.
The West has changed, and the cowboy has come a long way, but he still selects his boots with pride. Justin, the standard of the West since 1879.
4 veces campeona del mundo de carrera de barriles. Video aéreo de Sherry Serby circulando alrededor de un barril. Sherry Serby montada a caballo compitiendo en una arena. Sherry Serby acariciando la nariz de su caballo al anochecer. Imágenes antiguas de vaqueros montados a caballo en una arena. Imagen antigua de la fábrica original de Justin en Spanish Fort, Texas en 1879.
The cowboys and my ancestors have influenced my life in so much, and I just think about what they went through 100 years ago and the sacrifices that were made and the hardships and just getting from one place to another, and you know, going even 50 miles in a wagon. It's humbling to think about what was done to get us to where we are in our Western life today.
Pantalla a negro. Cody Webster hablando. Imagen de Cody Webster montado a caballo en un cerro mirando hacia la distancia. Texto en pantalla que lee Oklahoma. Video de Cody Webster toreando toros en una arena de rodeo. Multiple imágenes de hebillas de cinturón. Cody Webster bajando un cerro montado a caballo. Imágenes de Cody Webster deteniendo sus hebillas de campeonatos. Video antiguo de un hombre montado a toro con texto en pantalla que lee Jim Shoulders de Henrietta, Oklahoma. Cody Webster en una arena de rodeo. Cody Webster conduciendo su camioneta por la carretera. Imagen de un mapa que muestra la ciudad Wayne, Oklahoma. Imágenes de Wayne, Oklahoma. Un letrero en la calle que lee Bienvenidos a Wayne, el hogar de Cody Webster.
I think a lot of credit goes back to the old school cowboys.
Nice job, Cody Webster. Oh, my.
We can actually make a living now being professional cowboys, and we wouldn't have any of this if it wasn't for them guys back then going off of a dare to, who could ride a horse longer or who could rope a cow quicker or, you know, doctor or sort, whatever the case is. Without that, we wouldn't be where we are. I grew up in Wayne, Oklahoma. It's just a small town, rural community, a stop sign and a little store and a post office. That's about it. Maybe 1,000.
Cody continúa hablando. Cody se trepa encima de un tractor. Cody y su esposa Ashley posando para la cámara con un caballo al fondo. Cody toreando toros en una arena de rodeo. Más videos antiguos de toreros toreando en rodeos. Cody aplicando pintura en su cara antes de un rodeo. Videos de Cody toreando toros cuando era un joven. Cody corriendo encima de un barril y arriba del toro.
Maybe 1,000 people. That's where me and Ashley have our ranch now, and that's where our roots are. Bullfighting was just something that was in me from the time I think God put that into me when I was born, you know. I always had my eyes and you know, always paying attention to the bullfighters, the rodeo clowns, and Mom would always catch me in there using her lipstick, painting my face as a clown. And
He's gonna go up and overrun now!
Cody continúa hablando y mostrando videos de él toreando en una arena. Cody brincando en lugar con gafas de sol. Cody sonriendo y mirando la cámara. Pantalla a negro.
to get up and do a job somewhere around 180 performances a year, you know, if you break that down, that's fighting bulls every other day of the entire year. It's easy to go do that on a weekend. You know, it's easy to show up and be at a 3-day deal and step in and take a bad shot, and then knowing you only got to get through one more day or maybe 2 more days, and then you've got a week to go home, or maybe 2 weeks, or maybe you've only got 2 shows a month, whatever goes on. But to be doing it 180 times a year brings a lot of cost that a guy's got to be willing to go through, and everything that comes along with that, the travel grind, I think really defies who we are and what we stand for and what we believe in.
De arco y flecha con su arco en mano. Dusty alistándose para disparar su arco y flecha. Clips de video mostrando Dusty toreando toros en una arena de rodeo. Dusty haciendo ejercicio en su gimnasio de casa.
What I think it takes to be a champion is just your effort and your determination. I think consistently pursuing excellence. The day that you kind of hold back and are content with where you're at, that's the day that you start falling.
That's his best trip. Sometimes he goes left and he's got Bingham loose.
I always kind of want to have a vision and mindset of pursuing excellence. You know, what can I do better today from what I did yesterday to make me even better for tomorrow? Hard work and self-discipline is what it takes to achieve certain things in life, and I think that's the mindset of a winner and a mindset of a champion that you need to have, because they're always going to raise the bar, they're always going to work hard, and also it's a reflection and to the younger generation of, if they're looking up to somebody, you know, over time they see how you carry yourself and what your work ethic is like, and that trickles down. So consistently pursuing excellence and not being content with where you're at.
Dusty continúa hablando con un mapa en pantalla que muestra los estados Idaho y Wyoming y las ciudades donde creció. Video de un álbum de fotos que contiene fotos cuando era joven. Fotos de él en las montañas, él y sus hermanos en uniforme de fútbol, Dusty disparando su arco y flecha en su yarda, Dusty cazando cuando era un joven, imagen de Dusty y su mamá posando para la cámara, clips de video mostrando Dusty toreando toros en una arena de rodeo, Dusty con su papá, artículos de periódico cuando era un joven, adicionales videos de Dusty en rodeos y haciendo ejercicio en su gimnasio de casa.
So I grew up in a small town in Idaho, in DuBois, Idaho, and I lived there through elementary, junior high, and then I moved actually over to Wyoming my freshman year in high school to live with my dad and kind of more so to pursue the rodeo career. Growing up was great. Both my brothers played sports. I played sports. So we were outdoor type family. We were always camping, fishing, hiking, tubing, doing anything in any type of season. So I grew up in the outdoors, in the mountains, and hunting and fishing. And as I reflect back on my childhood, and I loved every minute of it. And I was involved in 4-H and the Scouts, and went through different programs there to learn how to survive in the wilderness if needed to be, or learn how to catch and cook my own fish and hunt, and always entertaining around the household. My mom, just one of the most caring woman that I know in my life. She's been there for me from day one to this day. For a long time, she was never thrilled that I chose the bullfighting world.
Here we go. Looks to the left. Got against the wall. Can't make it. Now comes around. He's got a good seat. He's pumping. He's gonna come. Now the bullfighters are earning their money. They are earning their
But over
money.
time, she's got a piece of it, and she enjoys it. I think maybe just as much, if not more, than I do. And my dad, that's really the big loophole that I got into rodeo. He fought bulls for a lot of years, and he still works the barrel a little bit to this day. And but I started going with him in, I think, '96. I'd go with him in the summer and go experience different rodeos, different events and venues. And so he's always been a great supporter. He's mentor me in the rodeo part, and always try to help me out when he could. And he always keeps up with my whereabouts now. And just like I said, both mom and dad, a lot of great love and support. They've done pretty much everything they possibly could for me in my life. And I know we live in a crazy world, and a lot of people expect things given to them, but I was always raised to work for what you get. And there's going to be good days, but there's also going to be some bad and tough days too. But you can't sit and fret on the past. You keep working hard, and put your best foot forward, and what you put into it is what you'll get out of it.
Video de Sherry Servi montada a caballo circulando un barril con video de ella a caballo en un rodeo. Sherry Servi en pantalla hablando sobre su historia con imágenes de ella en una granja al anochecer acariciando sus caballos. Video de Sherry Servi en la mañana abriendo su trailer para alistar su caballo. Sherry abriendo un portón para meter su caballo en la arena. Sherry corriendo su caballo alrededor de barriles en la arena y video cercano de los pies del caballo. Sherry corriendo su caballo y parando rápidamente. Video cercano de las manos de Sherry y mostrando su tranquilidad y experiencia con su caballo. Fotos de un caballo circulando alrededor de barriles en una arena. Sherry montada a caballo arreando el ganado en el atardecer. Sherry apoyada en una cerca mirando hacia el horizonte. Video cercano de fotos mostrando la familia de Sherry. Sherry peinando su caballo de cerca.
Some of the standards that I carry over into my training or my competition on my horses is the love of animals. I think, that's come from 100 years ago of people, respecting and appreciating what animals bring. I wouldn't be here without my animals, and, I do expect a lot from my animals, but I expect a lot from myself too. And I want to work hard, and I, want my horses to work hard and try their best too. But I also appreciate what they've given me, and you never take anything for granted. I think that's one of the biggest things that in life itself, but you can't take for granted of what you have in the horses that I've been able to ride. I've always, as a rider, tried to have really good hands when I'm asking my horse to do something, not be too forceful or heavy-handed. And I honestly tell myself a lot, mind in the middle. And I think, being a balanced rider is so important, especially when you're going, as fast as you can, and then you're changing directions, not getting your horse off balance where they have to wait for you to catch up. And so I've just really tried to be a balanced rider, and I work at it. I think At a young age, I was put on a lot of different horses just to ride and learn. I rode bareback and, just being a kid. But I do really feel like being a quiet rider is really important. When I think about the Standard of the West, I think about the camaraderie that they would have had with each other and that you have with your neighbors, that the respect, the family values that were established, and the importance of family to people of the old and today, and it's passed on through generations. My parents have influenced my career.
Sherry continúa hablando en pantalla. Video antiguo de rodeo mostrando un vaquero con becerra. Una imagen de su mamá en un rodeo a caballo circulando barriles. Una foto de sus padres sentados en un carro cuando eran joven. Una foto de sus padres cuando son adultos. Una foto de Sherry con su familia. Una foto de su papá con un becerro cuando era grande. Sherry hablando sobre el negocio de su familia en el arandano. Sherry en la granja de su familia comiendo un arandano. Fotos antiguas de Ocean Spray arandanos. Video aéreo del pantano de arándanos. Video de Sherry caminando en la carretera del pantano de arándanos. Fotos de Sherry cuando era una joven. Fotos de Sherry compitiendo en el NFR cuando era una joven. Sherry concluye hablando y comienza el final del video. Pantalla a negro.
A lot. My dad made the NFR, the first NFR in Dallas, Texas, in the calf roping. My mom made the finals in the barrel racing 3 years in a row in the 70s. Rodeo was never their profession. It was kind of something they did on the side, but they both loved to compete and have competed many, many years. And that's where I got my love of competition, is from both of them. And my dad still competed up until his late 70s. My family has been in the cranberry business for many years. It's been part of my life. And contrary to what a lot of people believe, my dad does not own Ocean Spray. He grows cranberries and sells them to Ocean Spray, that is a co-op. And so he is a shareholder, and there are, hundreds of shareholders. And so that is something that, I always have to correct people when they say. I knew I wanted to be a barrel racer at a very young age. I honestly never thought I would have the career that I've had, but I did want to make the NFR one time, and that was my goal from being, 10, 11 years old. I would play on my stick horse, and I wanted to be running down the alleyway at the Thomas and Mack. And I've made it 19 times, and they all are very special to me.
Foto de una caja de Justin Boots en una cinta transportadora en la fábrica. Video de fabricantes de botas en la fábrica. Video del parche que lee hecho en los Estados Unidos con partes mundiales. Texto en pantalla que lee estándar del oeste es. Texto en pantalla, trabajo arduo, con video de un vaquero en pantalla trabajando en su rancho. Texto en pantalla que lee pasión. Video de un vaquero a caballo en un rodeo. Texto en pantalla que lee integridad, con video de una vaquera cargando una silla de montar. Texto en pantalla que lee aguante, con video de una vaquera montada a caballo. Texto en pantalla que lee familia, con video de una niña alimentando un caballo y dándole un beso. Texto en pantalla que lee herencia, con video de 4 vaqueros sentados en una cerca, 2 hombres y 2 mujeres con montañas hacia la espalda. Texto en pantalla que lee tradición, con video de 2 vaqueros sentados alrededor de una lumbre contando historias. Cody Webster empieza a hablar. Video de un vaquero y vaquera a caballo paseando por las montañas con el Justin logo en el cielo. Texto en pantalla, un agradecimiento especial a Devin White, Sherry Servey, Dusty Tuckness, Cody Webster, Randy Corderary, Thomas Sanders, El Cuarto, Ashley Webster, Russell y Laura True, White Stallion Ranch, Chad y Renat Finley, música por Justin Crow y Quinn Sharper, Justin Logo, al final.
Back and jumping and kicking right down in front of the chutes. Oh, wow!
it's just a way of life, you know. It's the morals. You don't have to be a cowboy to actually be a cowboy in my eyes. I mean, somebody that works hard, somebody that is always caring and putting their best foot forward, and being somebody that just overall cares about people. You know, I think you got cowboy in you for that. And you know, there's really no other way to really explain it, I don't think, other than it's just a good-hearted person that wants to work hard and do good.